Geeks with beards. Podcast.
You have two choices. Kneel or die.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of the Geeks with Beards podcast. I'm Dan. Sitting across from me is Sean. And today we're going to be covering Dr. Fate, his origin from More Fun Comics number 67 from 1941. It's not his first appearance. His first appearance was More Fun Comics number 55. But for whatever reason, they decided to wait 12 issues to give him his origin story. So that's what I wanted to cover instead of the first appearance like we normally do. I want to do just the origin story right now. But before we get into that, what's been going on since last episode, man?
Been busy with shows, obviously.
Hell yeah, dude. I seen a video of that last one. That mosh pit was crazy.
That band is crazy.
Like people just everywhere in that video, man.
So yeah, you out there listening, if you haven't seen Triangle Fire, go look them up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Suicide Awareness Month, so we're doing all the shows to help charities aligned with that.
Hell yeah, man.
As far as fun stuff, I actually watched the first couple episodes of Twisted Metal Season 2.
Yeah, a co-worker of ours told me I need to be watching 2, and I just ain't got to it yet.
Well, it's good. I'm not sure if it's going to be as good as the first season, but that's what I'll say is that's good.
Okay, all right. I know he was saying he liked it more than season 1, maybe because I guess this season's more of the tournament, like the video games are, I suppose.
I can see that.
I guess maybe the world building for first season kind of bored him. I don't know.
That was the part I liked because I don't know.
Introduced the kid. Well, see, I know nothing. I played a handful of the games back in the day, but it's been forever. So I don't know. I don't remember anything. So whether this was accurate or not, I don't know. It doesn't bother me.
Well, it's based off a particular Twisted Metal Black, which is the PS2 version.
Okay, I think I remember seeing that when it first came on, yeah.
And they're kind of playing some of that up in the second season too.
Okay, cool.
So, but yeah, that's it for me. What about you?
Let's see. Haven't really watched much of anything. Just been keeping up with Peacemaker season 2, which is not bad. It's not bad. It's not for everybody, I guess, but it's not too bad though. Read a couple of books since last episode. Read issue 23 of Transformers. We're almost at the end of Daniel Warren Johnson's run. One more issue.
Oh, wow.
24, and then Robert Kirkman's taking it over with issue 25.
I'd be interested to hear about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not read anything. I hadn't wanted to try to read any solicitations. I don't know if he's going to continue what Daniel's done, if he's going to soft reboot. I wouldn't see that happening, but I don't know. We'll find out about that. But 23 was really good. Optimus finally kind of comes back from the brink of death. Wheeljack gives him this makeshift arm that he built for him because last time we talked about it, he had ripped Megatron's arm off of him because it was infecting him and the Matrix. So he comes back. There's a decent little fight, but basically it sets up issue 24 for the big fight between him and Megatron. Like they're getting ready to at the end of 23. Then I read, let's see, what else did I read? New G.I. Joe was good. Some good Major Blood and Baroness action in that issue. It was pretty good. I like that one. ThunderCats Lost, was it? Yeah, ThunderCats Lost. I think it was number 5. And you find out what happened to Bengali, who is kind of the leader of this other little faction of ThunderCats. And you see what happened to him when he landed on Third Earth. He was basically almost at the brink of death. No food, no water for like, oh God, what did it say, 130-something days or something like that. And you see his journey. He's trying to look for the Book of Omens. And you find out that he actually, back on Thundera, that he and Chitara actually were a couple. They were together. But since he was constantly getting sent on missions to go fight the mutants and other enemies and stuff like that of Thundera, it kind of put a wedge between them. So their relationship broke away. And as time went on, she started having feelings for Tigra. So in a previous issue of the regular ThunderCats issue, comic book, they find him, which this one shows this as well. They find him, and then basically she's like, Bengali, you're alive? And Tiger's kind of like in the background. He's like, what? So I'm curious if they're going to try to touch on any of that emotional stuff or not. I don't know. Bengali is a cool character. He was not in the old cartoon very much, and he was a lot younger back then. I think they've kind of aged him up just a slight bit in this comic book. So yeah, that was really exciting. Other than that, it's been about it. Yeah, not too much going on with myself this time either, man. Not this time.
We'll make up for it next time.
We will, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Probably not. But.
No, well, we'll know. So today, like I said, we're going to be covering the origin story, as of this period in the history of the character of Dr. Fate from More Fun Comics number 67 from 1941. Dr. Fate, he was created by Gardner Fox and Howard Sherman. And like I said, he first appeared in More Fun Comics number 55. So, we'll go ahead and just do a real quick history thing. Do you know anything about Dr. Fate?
I do not, actually.
No passing anything?
What I know is in Smallville.
That's right, yeah.
And the Black Adam movie.
Okay. Yeah, the Black Adam movie, I believe, was the first version Kent Nelson, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember 100%, which is played by Pierce Brosnan, which I thought was freaking amazing. I thought he did a really good job.
He was awesome.
The Smallville one, I don't remember which character he was. If he was Kent Nelson, or if he was what is it? I can't remember if he was a descendant of Hawkman or like something. I forget. He's a relative of Hawkman, but I can't remember which one it was now. But I remember seeing that, because I don't think I was watching Smallville then, but I remember seeing like that clip or whatever of the dude putting the helmet on, turning around, looking at Clark or whatever. I was like, that's pretty cool, because I think it was probably his first live action appearance. Possibly.
As far as I'm aware, it was, yeah.
But yeah, that was really cool. I remember that my first experience would have been the Superpowers toy from the 80s, which I just got one in the mail. I rebought one because I never had one. Mm-hmm. I don't think I had it as a kid, but I remember seeing it. I'm sure I did have it, but I can't 100% say for sure. So yeah, we're going to jump into this, and we open, and we're in the Valley of Ur in the year roughly around 1920. And we are with Kent Nelson and his dad, Sven Nelson. And his dad's an archaeologist. And Kent, at this moment, Kent is probably, what would you say, teenager, 13, 14 maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that. Well, they're at the pyramids. And basically, Kent's dad is questioning who built the pyramids. He's like, I'm not really sure who built the pyramids. And Kent's like, well, Dad, didn't the Egyptians do it? I don't know, son. I don't know. That's what people's been thought. But he's like, if we know anything about the pyramids, it seems unlikely that the Egyptians knew enough to build them. Which even till this day, if you watch any of the ancient alien stuff or whatever, till this day, a lot of those people believe that aliens helped build the stuff. There's no way that humans had the ingenuity of that time to build such structures.
That surprised me that it was in this comic like that earlier.
Yeah. Now, like I said, this was 41, I believe. This issue was 1941, I believe.
So we're in World War II and they're already saying, hey, aliens built these things, man.
The Egyptians didn't do it. No, they didn't do it. So basically his dad is telling him, he's like, astrology, science, engineering. He's like, all the arts that were known perfectly. He says, that those Egyptians knew that. He's like, this doesn't make sense to me. It's unthinkable to me that they might know all this stuff. And I'm like, well, it was the way a lot of the stuff is shown on TV and stuff like that. I mean, it was a lot of slave labor and, and however many decades or whatever it was to take to build this. So, I mean, I wouldn't 100% say no, humans didn't build them. But I don't know if I would believe extraterrestrial help. I don't know about that. I can't say that again. I'm one of them open-minded people. I'm like, hey, I'll believe almost anything, I'm open-minded to sit here and say, well, I'm not going to say you're full of crap, but I don't know, because I wasn't around back then.
I'd say let's go the Assassin's Creed route.
The Assassin's Creed.
It was those that came before.
There you go, man. There you go. So, his dad tells Kent, he's like, hey, go to sleep. And tomorrow, he said, we'll go down, into the chamber of history of this old temple that we just discovered. And he's like, hey, there might be something there that'll give us more definitive answers on what happened. So they do. They go to sleep, wake up the next day, and they start out across the sand dunes. And basically, Kent's dad's giving him a little bit of a lesson about stuff. He's like, hey, Babylonian legends as well as Roman myths tell the people that invaded the world before history began. If I could prove it true. And he's like, yeah, Dad, that would make you famous if you could prove, that something else besides humans did the pyramids. That'd be great. So they go inside the temple, and they're looking around, and it's the artwork that was done. I think it looks great. I love the artwork.
It really does.
I really do enjoy the artwork. Again, 1941. I don't think I would have ever read anything else this fella did. I didn't look him up, unfortunately.
Well, and the way that these comics worked is it was just a bunch of short stories every month.
It was. Yeah, it was. I'll talk a little bit about that toward the end of the episode. So they're looking around, and they kind of separate, and Kent goes off by himself, and he sees this. I guess he thinks it's a statue. I'm not really sure, but it's this kind of Egyptian, almost god-looking person standing there, just nice and almost straight up and down, or whatever. And he's looking at him, and all of a sudden, you see illustrated that these like two beams of light come out of the person's eyes onto Kent. And Kent's like, I know what he's thinking. He's like, his lips don't move, but I understand what he's saying to me. I understand. And basically, what this person, and we will learn this person's name is Naboo. He is
like Star Wars.
Maybe. I don't know.
This is where Padme came from.
Maybe. But he is one of the Lords of Order, and he will be the one that gives Kent the powers of fate. So basically what Naboo has done is telepathically he has told Kent how to release him from his tomb. So there's this big switch. It's a very cartoonish, big switch that Kent's pushing. And so he pushes it all the way over. And as soon as he pushes as far as it'll go, a gas starts coming about around the tomb. And he's like, what's this gas? He's like, oh my God, it's bringing this guy back to life. I don't understand what's going on. Well, it does revitalize Naboo, and Naboo tells him, he's like, hey, many thanks to you, young man, for what you have done, and now you can serve the world again, as I used to. And he's like, what, you never died? And he's like, exactly. He's like, learn the secrets of molecular control of one's body. My age is close to 500,000 years. I was born on the planet Cilia, as she swung in her orbit past the Earth. So he was an alien. At least that's what I took from it, because I will say this ahead of time, listeners. I've not researched a lot about Dr. Fate other than just reading this first appearance. So I'm going to take it, even though he is like a Lord of Order, I'm going to take that as he is alien because he was from another planet. So
yeah,
that's where I'm going to go with it.
That's exactly what I got from it.
So he's telling Ken all this, and Ken's like, what? He's like, I can't believe that. He's like, I bet you helped build the pyramids. Mm-hmm. And boom, we just like that. This conversation just goes, just cuts off. And
it does kind of jump around a lot.
It does, yeah. And so then it cuts to, you see Kent's dad laying on the ground, and he's yelling at his dad. He's like, Dad. He's like, oh my gosh. He's like, what happened? And Naboo looks, he's like, he's dead. I'm sorry. And you find out that the gas that was released that revitalized Naboo killed Kent's dad. It doesn't kill Kent, and I think the reason that it didn't was because Naboo had already got plans to have him be his new disciple. So I'm guessing he might have protected him from it, because basically if you look here, it's surrounding Kent and Naboo both. Their dad is like nowhere near them two, but he ends up getting the effects of the gas and dying. So I'm like, Naboo, you murdered his daddy. You purposely murdered his daddy.
It's pretty fucked up, man.
Yeah, I know, right, man? But he's like, your dad's dead. I'm sorry. And, poor Kent, he's frustrated. He's like, oh, come back, Dad. Please come back. Don't leave me. You're all that I have. Because, again, There's no mention of a mother or a wife, so I don't know. Again, that was some research I did not do, so I'm not sure about that situation. But Naboo tells him, he's like, look, when these chambers were built, he says a poison gas was prepared so that anyone who knew the secret of the chamber would die. And I'm like, well, damn. You figured there'd been like some kind of hieroglyphics or something on there that, his dad might have read. But again, he's so excited because he wanted to prove his theory of aliens helping build the pyramids instead of the humans doing. I guess he just overlooked shit,
It's so weird too. He's just like, my dad's dead. Oh no. Hey, teach me.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like Sean said, that's basically kind of what it jumps to. He's like, look, I will try to repay you for the loss of your dad by teaching you the secrets of the universe. Yeah, no. that's not a fair.
This is like Palpatine shit.
I killed your daddy, but I will make you a hero. That's what. And he's telling him this while Kent is kneeling at his father's grave. So at least he did allow Kent to bury his father. At least he did that. And he's like, I don't care about your secrets. I don't care about this. He's like, all I want is my dad back. He's like, I don't give a crap about what you're going to teach me. He's like, I just want my dad. And Naboo's like, can't do that. Sorry, he's gone.
Best you got.
Yeah, basically, it's best I got. I'm sorry, man. And basically it says, but as the years pass, Kent learns to love his teacher as his own father. I'm like, I mean, I guess I can get that. I mean, basically Naboo, I guess, did raise him from his teenage years up to young adulthood. So I guess I can kind of see attachment happening, between him and Kent. Because, again, Kent, I'm guessing at this moment, has no one else, so. So we see that Naboo is teaching him. And basically he tells him, look, he's like, far out in those vast reaches of space is my mother planet. Someday I shall return to it. And Kent's basically like, hey, can I go with you? I'm just like, what? I don't know about that, man. And Naboo's basically like, no. He's like, your mission is to bring good to those on Earth who's the ancient magics that do evil. So basically, you have to protect this planet from evil forces. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's mentioned here, but I know later on it's mentioned that there is a evil lords called the Lords of Chaos. And basically that's the main kind of group of magical beings or godlike beings that fate usually always fights. They're called the Lords of Chaos, to where Naboo's part of the Lords of Order. So I can't remember if it's mentioned in here. If it does, we'll definitely mention it, but I can't remember if it is or not.
I don't think so. That's a cool name.
Yeah, but that's what they call them. Yeah, the Lords of Chaos. So basically Naboo's like, yeah, no. He's like, you can't go back to my home planet with me. He's like, your purpose is to take my teachings that I gave you all these years and bring order to this planet. Protect this planet from the Lords of Chaos, from the evil that is on this planet. And basically Kent's like, well, okay, I have been a pretty good pupil, I guess, haven't I? He's like, look, I even possess the power of levitation, to make my body rise off the earth. And he does. He just, nothing, no, anything he's wearing causes him to do it, nothing like that. He just, boom, just goes up. And excuse me. And he's like, yeah, he's like, look, even an inanimate objects obey my thoughts. And it shows him lifting like not a big boulder, but a small kind of boulder or whatever, kind of lifting it up in the air, just basically by his thoughts. And then Naboo hands him his outfit. And he's like, these will be your garments, Kent Nelson. From this day on, you shall be known as Dr. Fate.
So his clothes is just garments. They don't have any magical properties.
Well,
like he does.
I don't think at this moment it does, but the helmet will play a big role in the character, because basically when he puts the helmet on, Naboo takes over his body.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But like in this particular instance,
I think at this moment, this being his, I think this was his first origin. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's mentioned, but later on it will be kind of the main thing, that once he puts that helmet on, the helmet is basically what contains Naboo's intellect, spirit, whatever. So when he puts the helmet on, I think Kent knows what's going on, but Naboo kind of controls him a little bit when he puts it on, I believe.
See, I thought, like, when I watched, it was either Smallville or whatever, but he was having like an identity crisis when he was putting it on.
I feel like in some iterations, because there's been at least 8 or 9 different versions of Dr. Fate. Different people have been Dr. Fate. I think there are versions, maybe, and I could be wrong about this. Correct me if I'm wrong, listeners. That when he puts the helmet on, basically the wearer kind of just blacks out.
Yeah.
And I guess Naboo takes over until his physical body is kind of wore out, and then the helmet's removed, and then he's like, what the hell? You know, it's like, where's all the time gone? What have I been doing? What's been going on? I think in some versions, even
like
maybe
me on Saturday night.
Well, I think maybe even later on with Kent, I think there might be moments to where it's a love-hate relationship. Like, he wants to be Dr. Fate and help protect the planet and everything, but it takes a toll on him because when he puts the helmet on, he's basically out of control, and Naboo's controlling him. And when Naboo relinquishes control back to him, he's like almost on death's bed sometimes. Like, he's just physically drained. You know, like, he's just so wore out. He's battered and bruised and stuff like that. You know, so it's like a love-hate thing. He's like, look, I'll be the hero, but don't treat me like trash. You know what I'm saying? Be a little respectful to my body. You know, it's not your body, it's my body. But, so then it says, thus was born the greatest of all masters of the supernatural. And this is where he meets his wife, or soon-to-be wife, and her name is Inza, I-N-Z-A. It says here, he met Inza, his companion, in Alexandria when returning to America from the Valley of Ur. Just U-R, so that's how I pronounce it, Ur. With her, he roams the world, overcoming those men who practice sorcery as Dr. Fate. So then we cut back, we're back in America. This says years later, New York exactly. And he's at a dinner party, and he's with Inza, and he sees a guy that is acting really nervous. He's shaking, trying to order a drink, you know, and kind of looking around like something's after him, like he's scared. And Kent kind of comes up behind him, and basically he's like, look, he's like, he is going to pass out if he doesn't calm down. He's like, 3 more drinks, this guy's going to pass out. He's like, something's wrong with him. I need to find out what's going on. So Kent confronts him, and he's like, look, I don't need any advice from you. He's like, those shadows won't get me. He's like, I ain't going to let them get me. And Kent's like, whoa, dude, what are you talking about shadows? He's like, you mean alcoholic visions? Maybe you've had a little too much to drink. He's like, you talking about pink elephants, stuff like that? Is that what you're talking about, man? And the guy's like, no. He's like, I don't mean that stuff. He's like, I mean what I just said. He's like, the shadows, literal shadows. He's like, they're taking my life away. And he's like, the shadows of dead men. And basically Kent says, hey, let's go take a walk. Let's talk more about this. You know, he said, let me know. Tell me more. What's going on? And the guy tells him, look, they come at nighttime. He says, they're men that I knew trying to get my life spark into their souls. And Kent's like, well, you must have been a believer in reincarnation at one time. And the guy's like, yeah. He's like, I was. He said, I did believe in it. He said, I made a pact to help them return to life if they died first. Now I regret it.
Well,
I'm like, well, but it didn't really, and again, I don't think it really elaborates on what that was, like what that pact was, other than him saying, hey, I'll help you come back to life, but you got to die first. I'm like,
it was a cult.
Probably.
That's my guess.
Very, very good possibility, man. Very good possibility. So Ken's like, hey, look, we'll take you home and we'll see what we can do. And he tells Enza, he's like, make sure he gets home safe. He's like, I'll follow you later. He's like, I got some stuff I got to do. So Enza does take the gentleman home, and Kent's talking to himself as they leave. He's like, evil. He's like, the old evil of capturing men's souls is again abroad. He's like, I've got to do something to help this poor fellow. And so as you see, and again, you see Ken flying, and he's not in his Dr. Fate outfit, but he's just flying. So again, I guess that was something Naboo taught him how to just do, you know. And it says he soars toward an old tower in witch-haunted Salem. And I want to say that's a tower. It plays a big part in later comics. And I think it's just is known as the Tower of Fate.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like almost like a big obelisk kind of thing, almost in a way, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
And I think Fate's the only one that can access. Well, Enza, I guess she can too, but I don't know if any other like magical characters in comics that ever was able to access it or not. I'm not for sure.
He might have brought people there. I think it works kind of like Doctor Strange's house.
Oh, okay, okay. Except his is just the face is just that big, tall, like skinny obelisk thing or whatever. Where Doctor Strange is that kind. Does it look like a mansion on the outside, or does it look derelict on the outside? I forget now. Damn, I don't remember now.
I don't remember in the movies, but in the comics, it was like an apartment, like house or something.
Yeah, then you go inside, and it's like all fancy looking, all his books and everything. So, so as Kent's flying, he says, he's like, to do thus would help little, but as Dr. Fate, then I think I could do something worthwhile. I know this was written in 1940, so sometimes I'm reading, I'm just like, I don't understand some of what you're saying. The way it's worded.
Not understanding this freaking font.
Dude, let's get on this real quick. Okay, the only piece of this font that bugged me is the letter E.
It looked like Pinocchio's nose.
Yeah,
it just pops right out.
Yeah, the middle dash on the letter E on this is so protruding over the other two that when I first read this, I'm like, is that a dash? Is that a dash? I'm like, no, that's how this dude wrote his E's. I'm like, all right, Gardner Fox, what the hell?
I'm sorry, but this is the worst pinned comic I think we've came across so far.
Yeah. It's like right here. Here's an E and here's a dash right next to it. I'm like, damn. Yeah, I'm like, damn, this is a long E right here, man.
The worst lettered comic, I should say.
So then we cut to the man's house, and it says, at the haunted man's home, ... And he's telling Enza, he's like, look, it's going to start pretty soon. He's like, they're going to come after me. He says, they come after me almost every night. And he turns around, he's like, look! He's like, there's one now. And sure enough, here comes a shadow, like it's coming up out of the floor. And he's coming toward the dude, and I love how they draw like the little water droplets, like it's supposed to be like sweat coming off of him because he's just so nervous, because he sees his shadow coming. Enza sees it too. She's startled. And it says, the shadow stalks the helpless victim. And the man's like, no, stay away. Please stay away. He's like, I regret, making the deal. He's like, I don't want to die. He's like, I want to live. And Enza's just standing behind him. And she's not really as scared as I would assume she would be because, again, 1940s, I don't know exactly how they did women in like all different comic books. Of course, we read the Wonder Woman, which of course she's a strong female character.
And we had Lois Lane.
Lois was a very strong female character in the 30s. So it doesn't really surprise me that Enza's a strong character here. But I kind of didn't expect it in everything that we've read so far.
Right.
In that era, I was kind of expecting a little bit of the femme fatale kind of thing or whatever. If that's the right word I should be using, I guess. But
the 30s and like early 40s were way more progressive. I guess they like played it down after World War II. Maybe,
or it could be just a thing to do with these individual writers that we've covered too. Maybe.
Well,
so I don't know.
You got to think 1941, both Wonder Woman and
Enza. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's when they were like really pushing women to be in the workforce so that the men could go fight.
That's very true. So, like we said, I guess we might have covered it in the Wonder Woman episode.
We did.
Women, they were the workforce. Mm-hmm. Men were fighting the war. Women were in the steel mills and everything else, So, and then of course, when the men come home, I guess the ladies either try to keep working or some might went back to being homemakers. I guess I don't know.
They were pushed to be. They were back to
go back to okay.
We're back. Hey, we kind of need our jobs back.
Yeah.
Let's go make some babies.
Make me a sandwich. No.
I mean, that's not far off.
Yeah, no.
It got pretty bad.
Yeah. So it does say here, though, it says Enza is helpless to help the gentleman, which, I mean, I guess really, yeah, what are you going to do with the shadow? Shine a light on it? I mean, what are you going to do with the shadow, And she's like, Dr. Fate, where are you? And boom, he pops up. He's like, by the wisdom of Naboo, I banish you, be gone. And then the shadow speaks to Dr. Fate. He's like, you, even in the netherworld, we hear your name. We know of your name. We know who you are. And the shadow disappears. And the gentleman's like, hey, man, you ain't going to leave me here by myself, are you? And Dr. Fate tells me, look, he's like, I got to follow the shadow to make sure that this never happens to you again. He's like, at first, I think he's going to leave Enza there with the guy. And then as he's getting ready to fly out the window, Enza's like, no, take me with you. She's like, I am going with you. Because again, she knows it's Kent. She's like, no, take me with you. And he's like, all right, come on. And it's you see a picture here of him going out the dude's window. And he's holding his hands out. He's like, all right, come on, let's go. Come on. And then it says here, down through the Charnel regions or Charnel regions. I pronounce stuff terribly. I'm assuming it's one of the other.
No, I was just thinking that's what I call them too.
Oh, damn it. Damn it. Damn it. So Dr. Fate, they're down there. And basically, I don't know. I kind of equated this to maybe hell, purgatory, maybe. Because you see flames, you see skulls laying around the ground here. I mean, that's kind of what I equated it to.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
You know,
at least definitely purgatory.
Maybe that's what the Charnel regions means, and I just don't know that. I don't know.
They're charred.
Yeah, there you go. But he says, he's like, here are all the material evidence of the dead gathered, and I was like, ugh, gruesome. And then it says in here, into the world of the shadows goes Dr. Fate and Enza, and he says, Black Negal. Is that how you pronounce that? Negal? Negal? Or
Negal?
Negal, something
like that.
He says, rules these regions. He's like, I must find him. And he does. And this dude is huge. He's got a club, and he's this big dude, and he's got just like a loincloth on, and he's bald. It's kind of hard to tell with the coloring of this old comic, but I would say grayish skin, kind of. That you kind of think grayish, maybe?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a big dude, and he's sitting on a throne. And I guess caveman, maybe. I don't know, and he's holding a human skull in one hand, a big spiked club in the other hand.
It's almost like that cult in Indiana Jones with the skulls and all. That's what
kind of, yeah.
The vibes it gives me.
Think about that for sure. But this dude's like at least twice as big, maybe 3 times as big as Dr. Fate. He's pretty tall. And you see, and it's a great picture. I love it. Like I say, Nagal's sitting on his throne, and we see Fate and Enza off to the side, and you got the flames behind them. And Enza's like, look how horrible he looks. I'm just like, chill, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Chill. He might be a nice guy. We don't know. So Dr. Fate tells her, he's like, that's Nagal. And Fate just goes up to him, like, just puts his finger right at him and points him. He's like, this may never, he says, this must never happen again, or I will destroy you and all your dead world. I'm like, the balls on Dr. Fate. But again, he is supposed to be, I don't know at this moment, but I know as time went on, he is supposed to be like one of the most powerful, I think, DC characters. I want to say I forgot what they compared him as far as comparison wise to Marvel. I mean, Doctor Strange is the obvious one, but I think they said something else, but I can't remember. And Nagal gets up, he's like, ho! He's like, only if you could, little man. He's like, don't be coming here threatening on me. And Dr. Fate kind of holds his hand up like he's casting a spell. And Nagal's like, my skull, that was in my hand. He's like, my skull, it's gone. And Dr. Fate says, so would I destroy you and yours the same as I made your skull disappear. And so he basically tells, like, Dr. Fate looks at him and is like, it shall be so. No more will shadows run in the world of living men. And Nagal just looks at him basically like, okay, so be it. I won't do it anymore. So, like, he basically scares Nagal, I guess. Mm-hmm. Just that couple little things. Basically, he points his finger, he stands his ground and says, this shit ain't happening no more. It better not, or I'll destroy your whole realm. Then he just makes his little skull disappear, and Nagal's like, okay, you're stronger than me. I promise. I'll keep the shadows down here with me. And so we end the last panel, and it says, Dr. Fate says, the world of the living and the world of the dead must never mix. When they do, all nature revolts. I had to stop Nagal before he allowed his shadows to overrun this world. And then it says in a little blurb right there at the bottom, it says, follow the adventures of Dr. Fate in every issue of More Fun Comics.
Yeah, I guess they had recurring characters because I don't know if you noticed at the beginning, I almost read the wrong part of the comic. The Spectre,
yeah.
Which I didn't know he was by one of the dudes from Superman. Was it Jerry?
Oh, Joe? Shoot, I forgot, man. It might have been. I forgot all about it.
It was one of the two. I don't remember which one, but yeah, I was like, whoa. And they had ads in Superman already at this time. So.
Yeah, it says, real quick, at the bottom of this page, it says, the Big Six comic magazines still lead the field. Action Comics, Superman, Adventure Comics, Starman, Detective Comics, Batman, and then we have Flash Comics, and I forgot what the other ones was. All American Comics, and oh shoot, I cut the other one off. I forgot what the other one was now. But I love too what it says on here as well. It tells you like how when they're on sale, and it says on sale about the 22nd of every month. About the 2nd of every month. I love how they did that.
They weren't real specific on dates.
I love how they did that. So yeah, that is, again, it's another short and sweet, which that's what these were, some of these older ones were like. Of the origin, well, the first origin, because I'm sure they have retconned it before, or later on. But the first origin of Dr. Fate. So Sean, what'd you think about it, man? First time ever reading any Dr. Fate.
It was really good. Because, my only comic experience with him was he was in, I think he was a big part of Infinite Crisis or the 52 run that came after. He
is, but it's not Kent Nelson. Again, I think they said, which I'm going to read some of the history here in a moment. There's about 7 or 8 different versions of Dr. Fate that's happened since 1940, so yeah.
Plus they done reset the whole universe like 4 times at that point. But
he was definitely, there was a version of him in the New 52 universe, and I think there's a new version as of right now. I don't think he has his own comic book, but I think he might pop up here and there in other comics as well.
But as far as what I thought it was good.
Yeah.
And if you want to buy this comic, well, you're going to be spending money.
Yeah, that's why we had to read it online, because there was no way, it hadn't been reprinted that I could find, and there was no way I was going to be able to buy an original copy.
Yeah, because a 0.5 graded one starts at $1,750.
Yeah.
And then, it's going to go up to at least $10,000.
So yeah, this one we had to read online. Which is no problem. That's fine if you can find it. There's some websites out there that has them, so you can find and this was a good scan too. You could read it clearly. The pictures were good on it and everything like that. So whoever uploaded
I'm guessing it came from the Internet Archive. Usually, people upload the older stuff on there because
probably
to preserve it
for sure. Yeah. So a little history, and he's got a long history, so I'm not going to cover everything. I want to kind of just hit some points here and there. Dr. Fate is a title and heroic legacy of a mystic defenders within the universe beginning in the 20th century. It says here, the character has been associated with notable superhero groups such as the Justice Society, Justice League, All-Star Squadron, Sentinels of Magic, and Justice League Dark. Famed archaeologist Kent Nelson was the first Dr. Fate, as we just read in this story here today. And afterwards, in the 80s, he would die in a miniseries in 1987. He would die, and a mother and son would become the new Dr. Fate. They would basically kind of combine together to become a new Dr. Fate. And even his wife Enza would briefly, it says here, assume the mantle as I'm wrong. Not Dr. Fate. Enza would briefly assume the mantle as an agent of chaos until the events of Zero Hour. And if anybody remembers what 0 Hour was, that was when Hal Jordan, as Parallax, was going to basically rewrite the whole universe in his image.
We covered that, didn't we?
Not yet.
No, we covered Parallax.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, when he became Parallax. Yeah, this was afterward. And I think it was after Superman returned because he had the long hair, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So 0 Hour was a cool thing. We may have to cover that sometime. It's a pretty cool story. But again, here we go. Hector Hall, the reincarnated son of Hawkman, would later take up the mantle, and he would be one of the more popular versions of Dr. Fate in the comics for a while. I don't know if that was Hector in Smallville or if that was Kent. I can't remember. But Hector was the other one that was the more popular version. And let's see here real quick. It says Hector Hall, he would later take up the mantle. And then the Spectre apparently got rid of Hector Hall, it says here, at the demise of the hands of the Spectre. Then Kent V. Nelson, the grandnephew of the original Dr. Fate, assumed the mantle during the beginning of the 10th Age of Magic. The current incarnation of Dr. Fate is Khalid Nasur, a young Muslim Egyptian-American physician and grandnephew of Kent Nelson, selected by ancient Egyptian deities as the current Dr. Fate. And as I said earlier, he was created by Gardner Fox and Howard Sherman and first appeared in More Fun Comics number 55. And pretty much, he would be a pop-up character in More Fun Comics until I think it was like issue 98 or so. And then that got canceled, or his run got canceled, excuse me, not the comic. And then he would pop up, and I've got I actually do have a couple of these reprinted because they did reprint in 1985. They reprinted several of his stories in the 3-issue series called The Immortal Dr. Fate. And I do have 2 of the 3 of those. And most of those stories would take place at the end of Flash comics. And so they would take and put his stories at the end of Flash comic books. So he actually never got his own self-titled comic until the 80s. He was always either in like the More Fun Comics, like the one had all multiple stories in it, or he was part of the Justice Society at one time.
Okay, so like group books.
Yeah. So he did not get his own self-titled comic until 1987, 47 years after his creation, did he get a self-titled comic book. That's
pretty crazy.
Yeah, and the original run of it was, I think it was like a 4-issue miniseries in 87, where Kent died. And then in 1988, there was an ongoing series that only had 41 issues to where the mother and son would become Dr. Fate. And eventually Kent would show back up again. And like I said, as time has went on, there's been several other people that's took over Dr. Fate. So he's got a pretty long history. You can go on Wikipedia. You can probably go on, any other kind of comic book fan site and read about him. He's very interesting. He is very, very interesting. I'm tempted to pick up maybe some of the earlier stuff maybe and see what it's about.
That'd be cool.
Adam, where are you?
You followed me?
My mind and body can exist in different places at the same time.
So yeah, that's going to do it for our Dr. Fate episode. Sean, what do we have coming up next time?
We're going to do something different. I was talking to my wife, and she found these mangas.
Oh, mangas.
Mangas.
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm new.
No, you're good. What do we have here in front of us, man?
We're going to cover the first book of the Sailor Moon series.
Oh.
And this one is from 2011, I believe.
Okay.
But if I understood it right, this is just like a reprint of the original stuff.
Okay.
So we'll cover the first chapter, which is kind of like the introduction to Sailor Moon and all that stuff.
I've only watched, and I told you this earlier off mic, I've watched maybe a handful of episodes of the cartoon. Of course, it was the English dubbed. I don't know which version of the English dub because you've told me that there was at least 2 different versions of the English dub.
You got the original Geek version, which we watched after or before school, and then you have the Hulu like redone ones, I guess you'd say, remastered ones with different dialogue.
Mine probably would have been the Geek ones because I would have watched it just on regular television at the time.
And they were good. I mean, it was cheesy, but,
Well, I will say this, this much I do know about it. In Japan, it was more mature.
Yes, it was.
They kiddied it down for American audiences, which I understand. They're aiming it toward children. Just like with, what was the Voltron? In Japan, he was Beast King Go Lion. More violent, bloody and stuff over there. They kind of kiddied it down for American audiences, which is fine. I understand that. Different cultures, different situations.
Yeah.
But I remember the cartoon, the animation was amazing. I love their outfits. Their outfits look cruel, because each one of them is, is a planet, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which, hers is Moon, but I think there's Sailor Venus, Sailor Mars, all that like that, so.
Yeah.
That's going to be really cool, dude. I've never read any Sailor Moon manga whatsoever. This will be amazing, yeah.
It should be a good time. I figure what we'll do, if you want, we'll go ahead and watch the first episode and kind of compare it.
Oh,
like at the end.
Yeah.
And then Autumn's going to send some feedback on it as well.
Awesome, yeah.
Because she said that people are 50-50. Either you like the anime better or you like the mangas better.
I get that. I'm sure. Well, hell, we know that from being comic book fans.
Mm-hmm.
some people like either they like the comics or they like the movie versions. So it depends. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get a little history on it, and we'll dive into that.
Heck yeah, dude! That's gonna be awesome. Our very first manga on the show. Hell yeah! Can't wait for that.
And it's in black and white, like it.
Most mangas always are.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got the Transformers mangas that they got put out, and it's all black and white. There might be some color here and there, but the main
just like the first couple pages.
Yeah, but excuse me. Most of the time, mangas are always in black and white. So
yeah, if anybody's got any feedback for that, send it to us. geekswithbeardspod@gmail.com.
Yeah, well, if you got a favorite Sailor Scout or a favorite manga, favorite Japanese anime character, yeah, let us know for sure.
That's it.
All right, if you want to reach us, we have several ways to do that. We have a Facebook, we have an Instagram, we have a YouTube channel where our audio episodes are up for you to listen to at your leisure. We also have toy review videos that are up.
I'm slacking on those.
Oh, dude, it's fine. You got a busy life outside this, man. Our listeners understand. We have a Discord that's free. Get on there and talk about anything you want to talk about. Games and movies, toys, whatever you want to talk to. Sean will have a link below in the description. And we have the email that Sean just shared with you, geekswithbeardspod@gmail.com. If you want to leave us an audio clip or anything like that, any kind of feedback, we love it. Please give us a thumbs up, 5 stars. And I think that'll cover it for this week. And until next time, I'm Dan. This was Sean. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's
Geeks with beards. Podcast.